hello everyone, and welcome to the Undisputed Heavyweight Champion of the World show made for the fans by a fan. I am your host, as always, Richard Team, and this is still the award-winning Fan Show. And sadly, despite the recent award win, I'm still just as tired after stops on the tour. Tour stop numero uno happened just this last weekend. Took off Saturday, flew direct from Spokane to Phoenix, Arizona. Stayed with family, which is always fun. And then Sunday was full of exciting events and activities. Went to the pregame party for the Arizona Rattlers, their Snake Pit fan club at the park. And despite some sound and technical difficulties, you took all my shirts. Arizona Rattler fans, you took all my free shirts. So wear them well. I hope they serve you well, whether it's wearing them on your casual Friday to the gym or to mop up a spill. You know, whatever it is, I hope you enjoy them. But otherwise, it was very fun. Always great to get out and meet all the fans from around really anywhere. It doesn't have to be IFL, NAL, or anything specific, but fans are fun, and that's my philosophy here. And then, of course, there was the game, the Arizona Rattlers taking on the Sioux Falls Storm, home opener, season opener, rematch of last year's United Bowl, and this would be the last game of the weekend's action, making it a week one complete. So with that, that's going to take us right into the headlines. And the headlines, of course, are that the Nebraska Danger defeated the Cedar Rapids Titans in the season kickoff on Friday evening, and that was, a lot of fun for them. I think it was a lot of fun for the fans, too. We got a chance to see the replay, the new replay system in action firsthand. But it was a 44-31 win over the Titans, so it was a closer game than I think some would expect. Obviously, Marvin Jones, head coach of the Titans, has some work to do for him, but I think the biggest question mark was how good Nebraska would be on offense. Introducing Adam Shackelford, formerly of the Spokane Shock and Empire, as their new offensive coordinator, I'd say that they did pretty well. So 44-31 is your final in Nebraska. And then, of course, we had the other game, which was the Iowa Barnstormers on the road against the Green Bay Blizzard. This one, not quite as close, and that's okay. 41-20 was your final there in Green Bay. So clearly, Coach Wooten coming back for another season. He's got a well-placed system there for Iowa, and Coach Chris Williams of the Blizzard has some stuff that he needs to tweak and get figured out before their next game, which next week, so March 2nd, we will have the Green Bay Blizzard taking on the Cedar Rapids Titans in Cedar Rapids. That should be a good one. And then it's a bye week for the rest of the league. They will compete on March 10th and 11th. Arizona taking on Iowa, Green Bay taking on Nebraska. I will be at both of those games. That's right. Stops 2 and 3, the official Fan Show Tour 2018. Iowa, so I'll get to see the Rattlers again. That'll be fun. This is a good game this early in the season. It'll be a true test for both teams. And then, of course, the Blizzard and the Danger. I think that'll be a good one as well. My first time in Nebraska, so I'm excited to visit Marshall and the guys that I know from the Danger. I did not get a chance to go last year, despite the fact that I really wanted to, and I had it planned out, but then it fell through last minute. There were a few last minute changes on the tour last year, but that's neither here nor there. The fact is that we're on to better things. The game that I was at, that I have had a chance to watch all the way through, was, of course, the Arizona Rattlers defeating the Sioux Falls Storm 39-33, one of the lower scoring games of the weekend, which I think going into it, a lot of people expected a high score just because these two teams function very well on both sides of the balls, offensively and defensively. However, Sioux Falls, only 2 members of last year's defensive squad returned this season. Tyler Knight, of course, the big retirement announcement last year. And then, the rest of the players went wherever they needed to. But, I think for this squad, it's going to be some growing pains, which is kind of how I described the first half of the game. And I'll have a week 1 and a weekly recap out every Wednesday, as well as the upcoming matchups. And then, of course, the power rankings will be out tomorrow as well. So I need to go and watch the full games for the Danger and the Titans, and then, of course, the Barnstormers and the Blizzard. But wow, what a game in Arizona. A lot of fun. Like I said, very, very big defense for both teams. Now, Verlin Reed did get the start, but he went down early in the first quarter with a knee injury. His status is unknown at the current time, though. They get the bye week. They get that extra week to get him healthy, and we'll see how it goes from there. But I see a lot of good things for him. Their other quarterback did just fine, but 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions is nothing to really gloat about. It was the defense that was the story of the game. Huge sack fumble and then a safety with under a minute left in the game after the Storm had just held them to a turnover on downs. I mean, it was crazy how this one finished, but a good strong finish for Arizona. Your Fan Show player of the game for the first stop on the Fan Show tour was Chris McCallister, a defensive lineman. He really earned it. He had some 6 or 7 tackles and a sack, and he was a big part of that defensive effort. He may not have had an actual hand in that strip sack at the end there and the safety, but that defense was lights out all game. So very, very good for them. And we'll have comments from him, Justin Shirk, another guy from that defensive squad, and then, of course, Coach Kevin Guy coming up after I'm joined by my guest tonight, who is actually from the CIF. I don't talk a lot of CIF on here because it's the CIF, and I think that that league is kind of the bad guy right now. And when I talk to people in Arizona, they agree. They think that the CIF came out looking worse than the IFL did in this whole thing, despite the fact that they won the lawsuit. But it is what it is. The season has officially kicked off, so we're on to greener pastures and happier times. But we will talk to him because the NAL, the other league that I'll be covering this season and has become part of the Fan Show tour later on, has introduced a new rule in the league effective immediately. It was put into effect, I believe, February 12th or 13th, right around Valentine's Day. Coach Billy Back of the Carolina Cobras shared it on his Facebook page saying the gist of the rule is that if you sign with another indoor team, whether it's CIF, IFL, AAL, whatever, if it's not an NAL team, if you sign with another team in a different league, and if you play a game, if you play in a game, you are then ineligible to play for the NAL for the rest of the 2018 season. So a lot of players unhappy about that. Some fans mixed feelings about it. I think with all the uncertainty and everything that went on as far as league hopping, even though it wasn't players, it was teams, this is the NAL's way of saying, we're not about that. We're not going to mess around. You're here to stay, and you're going to be here from start to finish. So we're going to talk because there's a lot of players that are just like, what if I play a game and then I get cut? Then I'm what? I'm SOL? And that's a valid question. I think it's one that deserves answered. But as Rob Storm, who's one of the heads of the NAL, stated in a Facebook post when he was commenting with other people voicing their displeasure with the new rule change, he said that there is no rule that's going to make all parties happy. There's just not. Even something as simple as introducing or implementing replay for challenges, that's going to slow down the pace of the game. We saw that, I think, in all 3 games there was challenges made, and the replay system, though it may not be state-of-the-art, it may not be NFL caliber, it's still something that I think has been much needed, because to go off of just the eyeball test out there, that you don't want it to come down to, well, what did it look like? Well, if I remember right, you don't want that. Coach Kevin Guy, who you'll hear in his post-game comments, said, I want to make sure we get the right call, because he threw the challenge flag during that game, so we got to see that firsthand. But otherwise, Arizona, thank you for the hospitality. I really do love it. Your guys' media, your photographer, Matt Henshaw, and Peter Garbo, those guys are awesome. Your staff is always very friendly and helpful. And then, of course, Gary, Teresa, Bill, all you guys that I met and got to hang out with and see again since the championship game. It was good to see you guys, and I hope to come back soon. So sorry that it was so here and there, but I had to go from Phoenix to San Diego to Boise and then finally back home to Spokane yesterday. So I'm about all traveled out for a little while. But then March 9th, I started all over again from Iowa to Nebraska. Going to do a doubleheader, and that should be no different. Probably going to take a lot out of me that weekend too. But hey, that's what the tour is all about. In NFL news, though, there was quite a bit that went on today. Let's go ahead and get to those headlines before we proceed with our indoor coverage here. Now, this is the time of year where, of course, the Combine is going to start, so you're going to start to see a lot of news there. I don't really care for the Combine. I mean, it's it's human beings being weighed, measured, and everything else. Like it's about to be, one of those, like, slave trades from back in the 1800s, and it's just really weird to me, the Combine. I'm sure if you're a player it's way different, but anyway, let's see what else we have from around the league. 49ers announced that they signed offensive lineman Gary Gilman to a 2-year contract extension through the 2019 season, which is good because your O-line and what you've got in front of Jimmy G is going to help that offense that Kyle Shanahan's cooking up this offseason run more efficiently. I'm a fan of it. I thought he was a great lineman. Joe Staley, of course, right up there. The Lions have designated Ezekiel Ansah as their franchise player. So he got tagged today. Let's see here. NFL Competition Committee appears to have unanimous agreement that controversial catch rulings involving Dez Bryant and Calvin Johnson should have been ruled complete, according to Giants owner John Mora. So the Competition Committee meets every year there in Indianapolis as well. Quarterbacks who did not throw at the Combine, notable quarterback names include Derek Carr, Teddy Bridgewater, Johnny Manziel, Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III, Ryan Tannehill, Brock Osweiler, Blaine Gabbert, Sam Bradford, Tim Tebow, Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, Jamarcus Russell, and Brady Quinn. So that's a pretty 50-50 bunch. Like if you want to get, like if you're trying to say something about quarterbacks that don't throw at the Combine, you're probably, it's either going to be right or wrong, and you've got a 50-50 chance of getting it right or wrong. Because, Derek Carr, franchise quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater, my jury's out on that one. Johnny Manziel, speaks for itself. Andrew Luck, franchise quarterback. Robert Griffin III, didn't work out. Ryan Tannehill, franchise quarterback. Brock Osweiler, backup. Blaine Gabbert, backup. Sam Bradford, depends on what team he's playing for. Tim Tebow, plays baseball. Matt Stafford, franchise quarterback. Matt Ryan, franchise quarterback. Jamarcus Russell, a bust. And Brady Quinn, who knows? So 50-50 on that one. After 14 NFL seasons, Eagles punter Donnie Jones has announced his retirement. That's a long time for any player, but the punter, I don't know if that... Pat McAfee retiring was something because he was phenomenal punter. Let's see here. Sam Darnold will not throw this week at the Combine. He is the potential number 1 overall pick. Look, for those of you thinking that Sam Darnold is like the second coming of Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, where is your evidence? Because ESPN cannot deep throw any more Sam Darnold than they already have, and that's a proven fact. They have gone all in on this kid. And for what? Because of that great history that we have of UFC quarterbacks going on to be great things? Yeah, their quarterback list is Matt Barkley and Mark Sanchez. Really? Really? That's where you that's your pedigree, okay, right there at USC. But he's going to be different, right? I'm sure everyone said that about every other quarterback to come out of USC. But it is what it is. Look, like if people want to go and make their draft boards and put him at number 1 and do whatever, I don't care. It's more pressure than is required. And it's more attention than is needed when it comes to the Combine, the draft, and everything that we put these players on this pedestal that if they fail to meet it that first year, it's like they're a bust, even though it may have been really unfortunate circumstances. Johnny Manziel got like 3 chances, and he just pissed every one of them away. So the Colts former cornerback Vontae Davis is signing a 1-year deal with the Bills. That's good for him. But, I think... it's going to be an interesting offseason. Kirk Cousins, obviously, looking at where he's going to land. Cleveland is a popular spot. I still say Arizona. Blaine Gabbert got paid, in case you missed it. I forget what the details of his contract were. Let me check it here. But among other notable quarterback names and their transactions, Teddy Bridgewater will become a free agent at the end of the season, which I thought, in my crazy quarterback prediction for the year, Teddy Bridgewater is going to end up on another team. I think I put him with the Jets, and then they were going to keep Keenum, but I could be wrong. Blake Bortles, though, let's see, what did he get paid? So Blake Bortles gets a new 3-year extension. Let's see what the details are on that one. Where are they? But it wasn't like a huge, thing, but it was enough to get people talking. And I knew that if he got them to the AFC Championship game, that he was gonna get paid. And it was sad to think that even getting them to the playoffs and past that first round wouldn't do it. I said it's got to be AFC title game or bust. There was even a point where I was just like, if he doesn't get them to the Super Bowl, he's probably not going to get a contract extension or stay another year in Jacksonville. But nonetheless, so the Jags handed Blake Bortles a 3-year, $54 million contract. So, hey, do what you got to do, Jags. I mean, I'm sure Jaguars fans are happy because he did finish strong. He did. I don't think he's maybe worth that much, but I guess in a league full of, uncertainty at the quarterback position and where anybody can step up and be that guy. I mean, Case Keenum, Nick Foles, you could even say the same thing about Sam Bradford. If you believe you've got your guy, hang on to him. And so I don't fault the Jaguars for that. That's going to do it for the headlines. The Winter Olympic Games, of course, are wrapping up, but we're going to go ahead and head to that portion of the show where I welcome on my first guest. So don't go anywhere. We've got more of the Fan Show coming up right after this.
This is The Sheet.
Gets me all revved up. My face is now red. My ears are just freaking boiling.
He's so raw that Sky hates him.
Yeah, he had 51 touchdowns. 4,900 total yards.
I know y'all like that, but I got to run. And only in Alabama that could happen, I have to say.
They're so good, man. They would win the Big Ten if they were in the Big Ten. You could be doing something vision-based in front of you and reach down and grab a handful of insane goodness.
Give it to him. Kudos. I'm clapping like a golfer. Very good, Johnny. I'm proud of you.
Wow. You guys agree on something again? I'm very impressed. You ever had a bad week? Just you walk outside, step in a puddle, like right when you walk outside. I mean, how does a puddle right outside your house? Or you stand on the curb and somebody drives by and splashes water up on you? Or it's just raining on you, not anyone else?
I will tell you, before you go any further, I cannot hear Chad when he speaks.
Good. Here, listen to the sheet, man. I don't really know what we're doing.
Every Saturday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. right here on WBLZ Sports.
Whether it be your industrial, commercial, or residential needs, Gen Service is the electrical contractor for you. The Gen Service team has the expertise, commitment, and educational years to help you solve all your electrical concerns. They have you in their best interest with helpful suggestions to accommodate your every want. Give them a call, no matter the size of the job, at 740-438-7173. Mention WBLZ Sports, and you'll get a discount. That's Gen Service, 740-438-7173.
This is Nick Ciccarelli, the mad scientist of sports. Join me and Dr. D, Derek Jones, live every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, for the Mad Scientist Sports Lab. The big intellect, the experiments on the chalkboard, and the guest subjects will be rolling in. Mad Scientist Sports Lab, only on WBLZ Sports, where we got balls.
Doug Peffer Painting and Pressure Washing. He has over 30 years of painting experience. He's interior, exterior, commercial or residential. Doug Peffer covers it all. Is your house looking ugh? We'll call on Doug. Doug Peffer Painting and Pressure Washing. 404-966-3361. Mention WBLZ Sports and get a special We've Got Balls discount. That's Doug Peffer Painting and Pressure Washing. 404-966-3361.
Check out Thursday Night Tailgate, where NFL legends live on. We bring you 5 NFL legends every week, sharing their stories and insights, plus our spotlight on the positive. Hear which players are doing great things in their communities. Now on WBLZ Sports Talk Radio and WBLZSports.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Joining me, making his debut on the show, Kenneth Van Heule of the Omaha Beef. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's taken some time, and of course, I was initially going into this season, I was going to cover all of the big three for the indoor game, but the stuff going on with the CIF, IFL, we've kind of put that to bed, put it behind us, but I just really left kind of a sour taste in my mouth regarding the CIF. But hey, that's nothing on you. That's nothing personal against you. But I wanted to bring you on because there was a rule change made in the NAL that went into effect just a few weeks ago. You were the first person that I thought of because you and I had actually just talked about this prior to that. And that is that the NAL, National Arena League, if you play for any other team in any other league, a single game, you are ineligible to play for their league for the rest of 2018. And then there was some more details about it as far as like the following year or whatever else. But you were upset about this, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but I could kind of see it as a coach standpoint. Say, for instance, like since our season ends like a month and a half before the NAL season, and guys try to jump over and still play, that's just a lot of football. And, that's when injuries happen and stuff like that. But, I mean, say, for instance, like someone's not liking the situation 5 weeks into the season, they can't go anywhere. They're stuck unless they go to the IFL. But, I mean, honestly, they made it for their point, but I think, honestly, it's a coward rule. It just shows that some people are scared of competition and what Billy Back and Amir and Coach Fuller, can do because they're good recruiters. And it just prevents them from stacking up, good talent on the team to, make a championship run.
Yeah, and, there's a lot of different ways that you can look at this thing. Obviously, one of Rob Storm's comments, and he's got a big hand in the NAL and everything that goes on there, he was saying that, there's no rule or rule change that ever makes everybody happy. And I understand that. Yeah. I usually try to look at it from a standpoint like, is it more good than bad, though? And this one's really tough for me because from a player standpoint, I understand. If you sign with the team and it doesn't work out, and that happens. It's just you're not feeling the coach or the playbook, or it's just not what you thought. Maybe you have an opportunity to go play for a team closer to home. Whatever it is, your mom got sick, your grandfather's passing away, you want to be closer to home. The thing about these leagues is that it's not unheard of for a player to go from one to the other mid-season because of the changing of the rosters and the availability. So if a player gets cut or anything like that, I don't have a problem with them seeking out another team in or out of their league. But I get that the NAL wants to have consistency at any level that it can get. And although it was teams jumping from league to league and not players, I think this is probably to them like the first step in a long process of getting some kind of continuity in their league so that they have quality product or what they perceive to be one. But fans, they want to be able to cheer for the same guys every week, and I understand that, especially as a fan. It's hard to see so many different faces come in and out. But health reasons, if it's about health, I will happily accept that because that is a big thing that, a player is always going to tell you he can play, but sometimes he has to be told no. But I do think that there's too many of the situation where a player is going to get cut or it's not going to work out. And then if there's not,
then he has nowhere to go.
Yeah. And it's not that there's nowhere to go, but it does limit your options now. And maybe and the NAL is the East Coast, so if it's something where they wanted to be closer to home and the East Coast is home, that option is gone now. So
yeah. So I mean, it's just basically like it's a love-hate rule. I mean, it's 50-50. You just got to basically take it, the way you want to take it. So.
Now, you mentioned, though, that all the names that you mentioned are guys I know. You and I are mutual friends with. Ishmael, and then Fuller. But wouldn't the NAL want to not have a rule like this in order to get the best quality talent on all the teams to make it the most attractive league? Or is that thinking from more of a fan standpoint than a business standpoint?
I mean, I would hope, the NAL as a whole, they wouldn't want this rule to go in effect. So, every team could have a fair chance at players. But, I mean, it might be for the fans just so they could see the same players every single week. But in all reality, it's just people doing what they have to do to win, honestly. I mean, people know about, last year, people were saying, hey, a certain team paid for a championship. It's whatever. But I just think it's a scare tactic, so they won't really have new competition coming in, kind of fresh bodies to, compete against. So, I mean, when you're banging against the same bodies week by week by week, that is going to break down, and it's going to be easier for them to win instead of having new guys come in, hungry, eager to win a championship. It's just going to be easy.
So you're thinking that because of Back and Ishmael's history with the other indoor leagues, that kind of makes it sort of an easy door to go through for a player that it doesn't work out or gets cut from another team to go and now become a starter on one of their teams. And now we've got, a little less parity and a bit more competition in different spots throughout that league.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, I've known Coach Back for a while. Back when he was coaching for the Texas Revolution when they're in the IFL. I've known Amir for a while, and then of course I know Fuller when I played for the Richmond Raiders. And I know what kind of coaches they are. They recruit players, they recruit talent, and if they find someone that they really want to bring in, they're going to bring them in. And it just goes like that, and it's just going to make it harder for them. But I mean, I'm sure they like the rule, but in all reality, it's just gonna suck because they're gonna want to bring guys in and they can't.
Have you had a chance to talk to Back or Amir about this yet?
I talked to Back when he first posted it, and I mean, he said he was for the rule just for health reasons and everything like that, players' health and all that. I still told him what I was telling you, and, he agrees on some point and, he disagrees on some points. But overall, he likes it because it keeps players safe and it keeps teams safe from, workers' comp and having to, all that insurance money, friggin' going crazy everywhere. So,
yeah, it does have more of a business feel to it than anything else, which I get it. I'm not in the business. I report on it, and at the end of the day, it's about what's best for business, and so they're going to make the rules that they need to. Now, I have the utmost respect for guys like Amir Fuller and Coach Back. We're good friends. We talk all the time. I'm hoping to have one of them share their thoughts on this in a little bit. But one thing that kind of bothered me, I think more than anything about this, was the timing of it. I mean, we're talking about a rule that got put in place weeks before some of these, before the IFL is supposed to kick off. And I don't know what they expected some of these players to do with that
to
little
just jump
time.
And go, yeah.
But I guess we'll see. I mean, rules are rules, and we'll have to let this year play out. But there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. And there's already been good and bad with it. But what's the feel from the other players that you've talked to that they're either, are any happy about it? I don't know if that's possible.
I don't know. I've talked to some players about it. They're basically, it is what it is. All they can really focus on is, the season coming up right now. With the stuff that we have going on here in Omaha, it makes it kind of easy to jump, but, me as a player, I just want to, stick it out and see how it goes, which sucks because once I play that first game, I can't go nowhere. So I can't really make a decision unless after the first game. But, some players, they hate it, they like it, but because I know I talked to some other players about how we were going to, play out this season, win a championship, whatever team we go to or try to win one, and then go to the NAL and play some more games because, that's just more competition, more film to get moved up and, a little bit extra money in our pockets. So.
Yeah, and I don't fault you guys for that because I've never once thought that you guys moving from one league to another like that with the leagues that have different start times was ever about like, well, I'm going to go and win a bunch with this team and then go and win more with that. You guys are looking to get as much film as you can, and if you get extra money in your pocket, that's just an added bonus. So this has nothing to do about chasing rings because, that's a nice perk, but at this level, that's really not what it's about.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be something that we're probably going to hear, like we've heard about it, and we're probably going to revisit this once the NAL actually kicks off and once teams have made some roster moves in the IFL and the CIF. It's going to be something that comes up, and there's going to be some issues that weren't brought up that get brought up, and then we're going to talk about this all over again. But I just wanted to get a feel for what was going on out there. I figured a lot of players would probably be displeased with it just because it takes that option away, and not that you lean on that as an option, but like I said, if a guy gets cut or if it's just not working out somewhere, the beauty of this level of sport is that you have options, and now one of those options is gone. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out this season. But
yeah, exactly.
How's life in Omaha?
It's good so far. I'm really waiting for it to stop snowing because I'm already tired of it. Being from Texas, we don't really get snow, so it's annoying as crap right now.
Well, I told you that when you told me you were going to the beef. I was just like, dude, like that doesn't seem like a you city, of all the things that I see posted on Facebook and your kind of personality. I'm like, that is like it's something on the East Coast, like Jacksonville seems like a your kind of city. Yeah.
I like it. It's a nice town. It's not too big, not too small. Living's cheap. It's not really expensive, and people are nice out here. But as far as the weather, I'm kind of sick and tired of it right now.
Do you guys have stuff going on the week of the 10th and 11th?
We play Salina Liberty on the 10th.
In Omaha?
Yeah, in Omaha.
Okay. Because I'll be in Iowa and then Nebraska the next day in Grand Island.
Okay.
So I was seeing if there was a chance I'd run into you anywhere, if you were going to be in town or not. But, if you guys don't have anything going on that Sunday, you should go check out that Nebraska game.
Yeah, it just depends, how I feel after the game. And then, also because since I work overnights at one of the gyms here, that might be hard to do because I have to be at work at 11. So that might be kind of close.
all that lifting you do, like, hey, man, I totally lift, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. I get paid to lift, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, anything that you hope to accomplish this season now that your one goal was kind of taken off the table with going from one league to another to get some more film and maybe some extra cash? You got any other, personal goals in mind for this season?
As of right now, all I can do is, just think about the preseason game coming up this Friday and, take it week by week, get the best film I can, and then, go on this playoff run and hopefully win a championship. And then after that, hopefully get a workout at least with the CFL team or something, because it's time for me to move up.
Yeah, no doubt there. And, I'm happy to help any way that I can. But if you weren't with Omaha, where do you think you'd be playing this season?
I'm not going to lie. I probably would have either been in Massachusetts with Amir or Carolina with Back, because they were really, convincing me hard to come out there and play. And Amir almost had me go out there, but I was just like, I really want to see, what Omaha is going to be like, what we're going to do, because Coach Mann was out here, and, that's the reason why I came out here, because I know what kind of coach he is also, but then the whole situation happened out here. So now I have to wait and see what happens.
Did any of them hit you up when that got announced to try one last ditch effort to get you? Because that's where I thought you were going to end up, was either, Boston or Carolina.
Yeah. Coach Beck did hit me up.
Of course he did.
He was actually, saying, they could really use a fullback, and he knows that I really want to play fullback. So I was just like, maybe. So I don't know.
He was hitting you right where it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Amir, he is very convincing. I think it's that brown skin and that smile. I think yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
It's deadly. It's deadly, man. All right, well, hey, I won't keep you too much longer. I appreciate you taking the time to talk about this, because it was one of the more, developing stories from around the world of indoor football. So take care of yourself, get ready and for that preseason game, and then we'll talk more as the season goes on. But good luck in that opener in a couple of weeks.
All right, it sounds good. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, man. You take care of yourself.
All right, you too.
Once again, Kenneth Van Heule of the Omaha Beef. Probably one of the only players from the CIF that I'll end up talking to this season. And that's just because he's a good buddy. Good guy. Good stuff. So we're going to take one last commercial break here. I have the sound bites from my time in Arizona to play for you, complete with Coach Kevin Guy, player of the game, Chris McCallister, and the legend that is Justin Shirknado Shirk. So don't go anywhere. We got more of the Fan Show coming up right after this. You're listening to the Fan Show, your home for all things football and nonsense. My special guest tonight, Farouk. Farouk, welcome.
He's no expert, but here's the thing. Football and nonsense is what he brings. Sports talk with a twist. It's the Fan Show!
Do you know him as Kevin from the League? It is none other than very funny Steve Ranazisi.
99% of the population doesn't know who I am, but the 1% do. They yell and scream inappropriate things at me in public.
Kyle Ray. Kyle, welcome.
And I was like, wow, I think we just saw the whole Super Bowl, Phyllis. It was like that scene in The Simpsons, like, why rent the movie? I just saw the best part.
Funny man Brad Williams.
Yeah, I'm here. No, I flew in just for your podcast. I've heard about this podcast. I've heard it's fantastic.
It's Mac and Farva, but they are my special guests tonight. Steve Lemmy, Kevin Heffernan.
I was in Mexico for 10 weeks in a Speedo. Like, that was me going to work. I was putting on a Speedo. Farva is the most fun to play, and it was a blast to do that again, to do Farva again. So then the makeup artist had to put Vaseline on your body, right? Yeah. And then put the powdered sugar on top of that. Is your name really Richard Siemens?
Listen live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night on Spreaker.com, or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud.
Your second season, and I thought you were on fire, though. You were pressuring the quarterback quite a bit. I know after the throw, he knew. There's no doubt he knew you were coming.
Yeah, in the beginning of the game, he was getting the ball off pretty quick, especially in those empties. As the game went on, he was kind of holding the ball a little bit longer, so I was able to get some pressure on him, get to him. I started keeping the running back in there a little bit more as well, which gave me a little bit of trouble. So I got something I got to work on going forward. Mixing up some moves on the running back, whether it's bull or spin or a jump swim or anything like that. So something I definitely got to work on moving forward. But solid win.
Talk about the towards the end of the game, the safety. Go through that.
A little bit a little salty about that. I kind of came into the line. Running back came up, stepped up on me, kind of bowled him. I seen Josh coming out the corner of my eye and just rocked the quarterback. Ball flew out. There was a little bit of a scramble for that, and I was kind of hoping that ball poked out to the side there, and I was right there for it, and I just couldn't quite get my hands on it. But I ended up pushing that back to the end zone and getting to safety there for us, which gave us a nice little cushion there, or getting us the 2 points and the ball back. So
good hustle on your part.
Yeah, still a little salty about that, though. I should have had a touchdown on that.
Yeah,
After giving up 27 points in the first half, what did Coach tell you in the locker room at halftime?
We started cleaning up mistakes. I mean, a lot of stuff that was happening was, third down where we were able to needed to get the ball, off the field and getting us off the field and whatnot. We just came up with, stupid plays, stupid penalties and stuff like that. A couple of the run plays that they scored on were, miss assignments by us. One of which was mine. I filled the wrong gap. On the second touchdown, first one, just didn't have anybody kind of fill up, and they had good blocking there too. They found the wrong lanes and got in the end zone with that. But we just got to play our game. We got the jitters out the first half, and we were able to come back the second half. Settle down, which we definitely did. Eliminated the mistakes and the penalties, and only held them to 6 points, so can't beat that.
First drive of the game, Sioux Falls took off 5 minutes off the clock, but you guys on the defensive side of the ball were really bringing it to them. Had it not been for a penalty and then a long third down conversion, you guys probably would have had them. What's that do mentally when you guys start off the game like that and you're doing everything that you can, but then they end up, getting a little luck on their side?
I mean, it's tough, and I know, especially with this defense, we bring back a lot of guys from the championship team last year. And the only way we're going to lose is if we beat ourselves, and that's exactly what we did. We kept them in third down, third and long, stuff like that, those situations, and we just kind of just beat ourselves. We were able to correct those in the second half and get off the field, which definitely helped us out. And only gave up 6 points, but it said the first game of the season, got those jitters out, got some stuff to correct, and solid win to start the season.
How do you feel overall about the game with this win and being against the team that you just beat for the championship last year?
Yeah, you can't beat it. Like I said, starting the year off 1-0. Like I said, second half and we finished strong, so it's something to definitely build off of going into the bye week and moving forward. So take the W as it is and just keep moving forward.
Appreciate it. Good game.
Thank you, Justin.
That was Justin Shirk of the Arizona Rattlers post-game. Next up, Coach Kevin Guy.
And sort of an inconsistent game, but I'll tell you, the D stepped up big time, didn't they?
They did. We faced adversity right out the gate. We drove down, scored. First time we had the ball. Verlon Reed goes out with an injury, and good thing we got a bye week, so if we can't get him healthy. But thought Jeff stepped in, and only being here 2 weeks, we brought him in late to training camp, and I thought he did a great job of managing the offense, and it was just his first game. So proud of him, proud of our defense. They stepped up, only held them to 6 points in the second half, 27 points in the first half. And we felt like we should have had some stops in the first half. We gave up some big penalties, on third downs in the first half that, they were able to keep drives going and score. So, but it was a great team win, and proud of the guys how we handled that adversity.
The special teams, a little bit of trouble with the squib kicks. I think Harrington did a nice job.
Yeah, we will see the tape and we'll address that. We gave them a rouge. They got a rouge. They got a point. We got to field the ball better. That's for sure. It's not because we're not working it. I don't know. I got to see the tape. I got to see what was going on back there. But sometimes that ball's tricky on the turf, bouncing around. So, proud of the team, and we went in and challenged them at halftime, and they stepped up and played like champions in the second half, and we found a way to win.
I thought Monroe did a great job too, by the way.
Oh, he's solid.
Great.
He's solid. There was a few times, I felt like he's got to hit the hole a little quicker. But again, first game, we'll get the. I thought our offensive line did a good job of blocking. But Daryl's special. He works hard and. He does does a good job for us. So we got a lot of confidence in Darryl making plays, and but very solid by the O-line and running backs tonight as well. We had to do what we had to do to win the game.
Yeah.
And we were planning on throwing the ball more going into the game, and we just felt like that they were going to be giving us a 5-man box to stop the run, which they did, and we felt like there were some throws there that we could have made, and but we got quality film. We'll see the game tape, and we'll make our corrections.
It was a good move on your part, third quarter, starting off the running game and stabilizing the team somewhat, I thought.
Yeah, we got a good offensive line. Connie Kawhi does a great job with those guys. We told them at halftime, we're going to put the game in your hands. And I thought, we went down and scored a touchdown right out the gate. We drove back down. I think we kicked a field goal, and we scored 10 in the third. I think they scored 0. Yeah, they had 0.
It was 0.
And then they hit 2 field goals in the fourth quarter. But yeah, we put it on the O-line and Darnold's in the second half, and boy, defensively, just outstanding. Making plays. We got our hands. Every time we got a pick, there was a penalty.
Yeah, that's right.
we got to address that. I mean, there should have been more stops tonight than what we had.
Now, you mentioned the penalties early on in the first half. Is that some growing pains because of the quick quarterback change, or was that just more, opening season jitters?
Well, most of our penalties were on defense. We had a lot of penalties on defense, and that crew was first time working together. We had a new head referee tonight. Maybe I don't know what they were seeing, but see the film. We got the new film system. It wasn't working during the game. I don't know if it was working for Sioux Falls or not, but we couldn't see anything on the sidelines to make any adjustments because our daggone film wasn't working. So I'm not happy, about that. So I couldn't come over on the sidelines. We're able to come in now with VidSwap and watch drives when we come off the field, and we can make our corrections. It's a new rule, and it just wasn't working, and really just waste of time, waste of money so far.
How do you feel about the new replay system? There's a few challenges out there.
I'm for getting it right. Okay, so whether we have we can challenge and have replay, or the referees get it right. I don't care how we do it, but we need to get it right. And it just seemed like the game was kind of slow in the first half. Kind of took our crowd out of the game with all the penalties and stoppage of play. We need to look at that and address it.
Is health going to be the biggest factor for who's starting at quarterback next time you guys take the field?
Well, we got a bye week, so let's see where we're at. 2 weeks, you can heal a lot of boo-boos. So we'll look at that. We got a great medical staff. They'll do the right thing there, and we got confidence in Jeff. We'll get him reps and get him ready to play.
You lost your voice.
I did. It's a double whammy on me when you got asthma. You lose it a lot quicker. So,
gotcha.
But very proud of our guys tonight and how they kept their composure. Kept playing, and things got a little chippy early in the first half. And I thought our guys, did a good job of keeping their composure.
Yeah. Great first win, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys.
And that was Coach Kevin Guy of the Arizona Rattlers. And the last one for you tonight from stop number 1 on the Fan Show Tour is the first Fan Show Player of the Game for 2018, Chris McCallister.
Starting off, you were just on fire. You got the sack, and you're in on a lot of different tackles. Good pressure the whole game by you.
Yeah, it's a lot of film study, man. We as the front four, we have a good group of guys, and we study a lot. We try to read formations and try to just anticipate what's happening. And I was the one that was blessed enough to make the plays today.
Yeah, and overall, you're on the field a lot. The time of possession was quite lopsided the first half, at least. They had the ball quite a bit, so kept your defense on the field. Did that have any impact on you?
You kind of feel it a little bit, but, as a defense, you're just, when your number's called, you got to go out there and make stops. And I think if we got off the field on 3rd and 4th downs like we should have, we wouldn't have been out there as long. So, part of that's probably on us.
Yeah, and this is, I think, your 3rd year here?
It is, yeah.
So how do you compare, the first year was with the AFL, I guess.
Right.
But how about last year to this year? I know it's just the first game, but overall, a lot of new players, good feel about this team?
It's definitely a good feel. I think we have a good group of guys. I know as a defense, we brought back all but one. So, we have a good feel right there. But, it's a growing process. All teams go through it, and, we have a long way to go. We can play a lot better than we did today, and, that's our goal.
Yeah. What's the first step to playing better? What do you want to improve on after this game?
Man, taking away penalties. We shot ourselves in the foot a lot today. And as a defense, if you don't get off the field when you're supposed to, they score points, and they were doing that in the first half. So, when it comes to 3rd and 4th down, we just have to, as a defense, play better and get off the field. And it takes all 8 of us to do that.
You guys had a great defensive game, and obviously with the first season of the game and it being the home opener, how does that make you feel as far as a bar being set for the rest of the season?
It's great. It's a start. We as a defense, we know what we brought back, and we want to go where we left off, and we feel like it's a start. But we're nowhere near where we were last year, and we want to get better each week. So we'll take this bye week and just move forward from here.
It wasn't for a championship, but this was the team that you played last year to win it. So is there any kind of weight lifted off the shoulders going into your guys' first bye week and the start of the season at all?
No, I don't really look at it like that. That championship was last year, and then we're chasing another one this year. So, we're the defending champions, but at the same time, we're the hunters, though.
How are you going to celebrate this win?
Go to sleep. I'm going straight to sleep.
You're going to go to Disneyland.
Oh, no, not Disneyland. Not yet. It's just week 1. Yeah, we're just going to go home and sleep on this one.
Yeah. Congrats on a great game.
Thank you.
And that was Chris McCallister, player of the game for Stop Number 1 Fan Show Tour 2018. Big shout out to the guys at Undisputed Belts for doing it again. I tell them what I need, and they hook it up, man. They are getting better and better each and every belt they make if you need a custom one. So don't take my word for it. Check out the photos, videos, whatever from this first stop. I love my first belt that I got from them. It's probably going to go up in some display case somewhere, and I'll retire it officially. But this one, man, I wanted it to have a bit more of a personal touch, so I hit up my friend Nolan, the caricature artist. I said, hey, can you do some artwork for me for the side plates? He said, yeah, I'd love to. So I did that, and it really just embodies everything that I feel the Fan Show is on this belt. Not that the last one didn't, but this one just has really a more personal touch to it. So big thanks to Nolan and, of course, the guys at Undisputed Belts. So go and check out their work if you need a belt for anything. If it's fantasy, if it's a work-related thing, or even if it's a sibling rivalry, go and get a custom belt, undisputedbelts.com. You can follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and like them on Facebook. Did I say Facebook? I think I meant like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram as well. And you can always email them if you want to get price quotes. Tell them the Fan Show sent you. They might hook you up with a little bit of a discount there, but well worth it. They are just getting so good at making these belts. Even the leather felt better quality on this one than the last one. So who knows what they'll have in store for next year or for a couple of seasons from now. But this one's a beauty. The guys love the belts, fans, everybody. It was a sort of a ceremonial moment in that press conference when he went to take the podium. I said, we talked about it. You are the player of the game today, so you get to wear this while we ask you questions. And everybody had a good laugh. There was a golf clap, round of applause for him. But no, anything that we can do to make the experience for these players and fans a little better, we're going to do here at the Fan Show. And that was large in part to the efforts of Undisputed Belts. So don't forget, if you missed any of tonight's episode or any other episode and you need to get caught up, then go and check out the Fan Show in its podcast form, iTunes, SoundCloud, and, of course, iHeartRadio. They are all functioning fine now, so there shouldn't be any more issues as long as I don't reset any of my passwords for them. Listen live, thefanshow.com, or, of course, Spreaker.com/user/thefanshow. And then you can catch replays of the show on WBLZ Sports, which is an app that you can download, or WBLZ.com. Great guys, great roster of shows and programs, a good variety of football nonsense and everything else. There was the Elimination Chamber, but I haven't watched all of it because I was out of town, and I'm going to watch the rest of it tonight as well as last night's Raw, and I'll give you guys a full rundown tomorrow. Special guest, Charles Wyand, crazy man, comedian, and sort of amateur or maybe professional at this point, crocodile hunter, and just, fun guy to be around. So he's going to be on the show tomorrow night, my special guest. Then Thursday, looking into a couple of guests, so we'll see who I can get lined up for week 2 in the IFL. Like I said, just the one game, but hopefully we can get some good guests for you guys. And then don't forget to tell all your friends. Thanks for all the likes on Facebook and all the follows on Twitter. Always happens after every stop on the Fan Show Tour, and very good, warm, fuzzy feeling. So keep telling your friends, give it a share, give it a like, give it a follow. I appreciate it all. Visit teespring.com/thefan show if you'd like to order a t-shirt if you didn't get a free one. So thank you all for listening. Tune in tomorrow night, same fan show time, same fan show place. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners. And remember, of course, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night, folks.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his one player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the fan show.